Sam Graham.
Just give it like
Owen Termel.
you're live whenever.
Who's the other one?
Jack
Jack
Dias.
Dias.
Jack Dias. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We do apologize for I might say the late live stream that we had. We originally were planned out for the baseball fans to be on the diamond today, but due to the rather rainy conditions, we came up to the box here, and we are just about under 10 minutes left in the second quarter with the Pope Francis Cardinals down 2-1 to a not familiar foe, Tantasqua. The reason I would say not a familiar is because unlike what we saw in the girls versus Cardinals game versus Pittsfield, this again is a rare coincidence where this will be Pope Francis's third time ever playing Tantasqua in school history. Now, as we have seen in the last 5 games, or really I should say in the last 2 games these two teams have met, Tantasqua has come out victorious, reigning by a score of 13-6 and 12-9. However, those 2 games, the first game took place in 2016, and the last game took place in 2017. So there is a 7-year gap, between the last time these two teams squared off against each other. Pope Francis still looking for their first win, let alone of this season, also versus Tantasqua. And joined here in the commentating box, I have Sam Graham, Owen Termel, and Jack Dias also in the box. Jack Dias, Owen Termel, I've already forgot. Give me your opinion, what we've seen so far.
Fellas look strong out there. I know we got off to a tough start to the season, but I think we're ready to bounce back with this game.
Certainly a statement there, as boys are coming into this game 0-4, still looking for their first win of the season. Tantasqua coming in at an 0-1 with their second game of the season. The one loss falling to Agawam by a score of 8-7. I believe that was this week as well. As Tantasqua will come back down the other end over the 30-yard line again. They hold the lead right now by a score of 2-1. By far the closest game we've seen by these Cardinals so far. Just about 8 minutes left in the second quarter as Tantasqua and no rush will just hold it behind the Pope Francis net. But again, we do apologize deeply to the baseball audience. And a shot and a goal there by Tantasqua. Excuse me as I was interrupted. It'll be Tantasqua with the third goal of the game, 7:51 into this one. And with 7:51 remaining in the second quarter, Tantasqua has extended to a 3-1 lead over the Cardinals. But as I was saying before, we do apologize again to the baseball fans who were anticipating not just a game today, but also a game tomorrow. We do apologize because the game today we originally had scheduled, but turns out the conditions outside are a little too damp for our liking and putting up the camera. And the game tomorrow has been postponed to over April. I still think it's February from the beginning of the year. April break, which we will not be live streaming here at Pope Francis. So the next baseball game, from what it may look like, may not be until the week after vacation, as far as we know. So it's a huge disappointment to the baseball fans out there, nonetheless. But we'll do the best to give you coverage on what will majorly be a girls and boys lacrosse season, as I believe softball, unfortunately to all the softball fans out there as well, I believe we will only have one game that is possible for us to broadcast this year. So the majority of the season right now is looking like boys and girls lacrosse. Again, boys lacrosse still looking for their first win of the season. Girls lacrosse off to a 2-1 start, as ball will be taken back by Mason Goodrow. Now we pass it back up over to Ryan Goki. Goki will send it up over to Mason Thayer. Thayer has it now, and he'll pass it, over to Maddie Regan. Regan going along the 30-yard line. Over to Tanner Metz. Shot save made by the Tantasqua goaltender with 6:37 remaining in the second quarter. Tantasqua still with a 3-1 lead over the Cardinals. As Pope will hold it there, they thought they had it, as it was a pass, I believe, by Leo, but it will be fumbled, and I believe we have a play blown dead here. Ref signaling for possibly an elbow, and it'll be going in the way of Tantasqua. With 6:27 left to go remaining in the second quarter of play. Again, we saw, or actually I should say we didn't see, live stream wasn't up and going, but Tantasqua held a 2-1 lead over the Cardinals at the end of the first quarter. Certainly a close game, probably the closest the Cardinals have had thus far this year so far. Again, not off to the hottest start, a 16-1 home opening loss versus Longmeadow, an 11-6 loss versus South Hadley, a 12-4 loss versus Minnetonka, and a 16-5 loss at Westfield. That was this week. So the Cardinals, certainly a rocky road they've had so far, so they're still looking for the first win, as this ball will be sent out of play by Tantasqua, so they'll resettle with it behind the 10-yard line. Defensive pressure on by Kowalski. Kowalski, excuse me. This correction by Sam Graham up in the box. But Tantasqua still has it now, as taken down, was it, by Mason Goodrow. Tantasqua will resettle with it along the 30-yard line. Thought they had it. Thought they fumbled it there, but they still have it. Again, Tantasqua, no rush still. Rush still out with an early 3-1 lead. I'll take it behind the net, the Cardinal net. Again, Pope Francis still looking for some offensive pressure here. It was really the second quarter. Play's been all defense we've seen mainly from these Cardinals. It's been all defense. Again, we saw the one goal, Jake Jarrell scoring for the Cardinals. It was just at the end of the first quarter, if I'm not mistaken. It will cut the Tantasqua lead in half. Tantasqua was shot just wider than it. A low shot there. Luckily, it was sent aside. So Tantasqua will come back in with the ball and pass it up along the 30-yard line for them. Tantasqua will still take it now along the side of the goal. Shot top shelf, and they score. As the Tantasqua Warriors now have a 4-1 lead over the Cardinals with 4:43 remaining in the second quarter. And this is not the start the Cardinals certainly wanted to have, only down 2-1 in the first quarter, as they have let up 2 straight goals, leading to the score of 4-1, as they look to get back on the train of goals here. Still looking for their first win of the season, as we said again. So with 4:43 left in the second quarter, it'll be Matt Feely taking the draw. Trying to give the Cardinals their second goal of the game. Cut the Tantasqua lead in half. The faceoff is back won by Tantasqua, so they'll resettle with it. Again, the Cardinals still looking. They're going to play defense. They got to start playing lockdown defense we've seen lately. As it is. Ryan Goki this way and that around the Tantasqua defenders, making them look like really traffic cones. Ball shot there. They scramble for it, but it'll be picked up by the Tantasqua goalkeeper. Again, I do apologize to Tantasqua, as we do not have the roster due to the fact that we started so late. So I do apologize to the Tantasqua players. But yeah, Owen Turmel, what do you think we've seen that the Cardinals? What do you think that we can see in the future that the Cardinals can expand upon with 4:01 remaining in the second quarter?
I think there's got to be more movement up top. We're getting chances, just not great ones right now. So hopefully, in the next 3 or 4 minutes, they can get a couple good shots in here and close the lead a little bit.
As Tanner Metz will take it now. Again, we saw him scoring he had one of the goals in the Minnetonka game. Unfortunately, Cardinals would fall 12-4 score. I believe he has 2 or 3 goals in the season so far. Might be leading the team, I believe. Tied with Mason Thayer. I believe they both have 3 goals in the season so far. As Tantasqua will start out with it in their own end with 3:39 remaining in the second quarter. And a couple of the other events we had today, we will still continue to apologize to the baseball fans who are still awaiting on their first game of the season, as it has been just rainy conditions and damp and wet conditions all season long for them. So we have yet to bring you live coverage of one of their games. But again, going on from the events that we've had Today was the last and final spring pep rally here at Pope Francis. Unfortunately, for the juniors here in the box and the freshmen myself, we would not reign victorious. It would be the sophomores taking that game, so they would win overall. And it would be AJ's actually last game, as we were wishing him the best of luck today over at the boys' tennis game. I do believe they're playing, or excuse me, I should say the boys' tennis game at Turner Falls. That is just about underway right now. As Pope will resettle with it now. It'll be Ziggy Buffoni. Ziggy this way and that got tripped up there. So Tantasqua will resettle with it, looking to make it 5-1 here with 2.5 minutes left in the second quarter. Again, we've seen it's all been Tantasqua. A shot there whiffed on by Tantasqua, and Ziggy will go down, and I believe a couple of Tantasqua players. But nonetheless, the ref will signal in the way of Tantasqua. Ziggy and Ryan Goki arguing for a call, as it'll be Pope possession, excuse me. Ball played back to Caden Ames, who will send it up the field for Kowalski. Kowalski over to Troy Hamlin, trying to get the shot on that. The rebound there, and they score, as it is Tanner Metz, I believe, with his third goal of the season, but it will get called off due to a crease violation. He thought he had his third goal of the season, and certainly the Pope Francis Cardinals thought they had the second goal of the game, but it was called off due to a crease violation. Troy Hamlin with a great shot on net and a rebound picked up by Tanner Metz. Fortunately, the Cardinals couldn't capitalize on that. Tantasqua will take it back the other way, and I believe it's called offsides, if I'm not mistaken, with just under Tantasqua will take a timeout. So we'll step aside here. Cardinals down 4-1 with 1:54 remaining in the second quarter. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Champions play here live on Pope Prep. Coming back to you live on Pope Prep. Pope Francis down 4-1 with the timeout taken by Tantasqua nearly over. Again, for those of you wondering, Tantasqua, not a rural foe here. They are from, I believe, out of close to Sturbridge. And this is certainly the Cardinals, not a familiar foe. This will be, as I said again, the third time they've ever played each other, with Tantasqua commanding a 4-1 lead. That, again, the last time these two teams squared off against each other was, I believe, May 23rd of 2017. So nearly 7 years ago, about 6 years, 11 months. And Tantasqua, the Warriors, would take that game by a score of 13-6, and then close to a year to the day before that, they would win by a score of 12-9 against the Pope Francis Cardinals. And I do believe that this is also the first time that the Cardinals have hosted the Warriors here on not only Pope Prep, but at Pope Francis Preparatory School, as we are entering the final minute of play here in the second quarter. Again, we do appreciate Sam Graham, Owen Termel, and Jack Dyes while they were here. Sadly, they've left the box. We do appreciate their presence here today. Just under a minute remaining here in the second quarter. Pope Francis down 4-1. Again, the one goal by Jake Jarrell. Tanner Metz thought he had his third goal of the season. As he takes it now right behind the Tantasqua net. He'll lob a pass back over to Matty Regan. Matty Regan will pass it back up to Zig Buffoni. Again, Ziggy taking his time with 20 seconds. He'll rip a shot low, but it'll go wide of the net. And with 19.1 seconds left remaining here, as we have a stoppage play, Tanner Metz will take it out for the Cardinals. Again, still looking for his first goal. So a stick check there by Tantasqua. Metz will pass it in front, looking for Matty Regan. Regan still scrambling for it, but he can't get the shot off. So it'll be Ziggy Buffoni. Ziggy has to get a shot off here with 5 seconds left. He'll take a long shot trying to find Tanner Metz. And with that, time will expire. The Pope Francis Cardinals down 4-1 at the halftime to the Tantasqua Warriors. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen, where we will be bringing you the Cardinal halftime report. Stay tuned. Champions play here live on Pope Prep. Good good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Coming to you live from Pope Francis Preparatory School. It is Dom Percy, the future voice of the Cardinals here, giving you the Cardinal halftime report. Cardinals are currently down 4-1, the one goal coming from the one, the only Jake Jarrell. But other than that, again, we've said before, a not familiar foe, the Tantasqua Warriors, coming all the way out of Sturbridge, excuse me. And they lead by a score of 4-1 here at the halftime. As it has really mainly just been all Cardinals here. Again, they're still looking for their first win of the season. Hope to get it tonight. A late comeback here. But other than that, it has been all offense by the Tantasqua Warriors. Pope Francis starting to come to life near there at the end of the second quarter. But it was just not enough. Ziggy Buffoni trying to fire off a shot. And we saw Tanner Metz also trying to fire off a couple of shots. Unfortunately, they would not go in. And the score right now in favor of Tantasqua is 4-1. And with that, I think that will about do it for the Cardinal halftime report as they trail to the Warriors 4-1 going into the third quarter. Coming up next, we will bring you live coverage for the third quarter. Stay tuned. Champions play here live on Pope Prep. And we are underway live here on Pope Prep. Third quarter of action just about underway. Face-off coming in here, taken by Matt Feely, as it'll be taken out over by Mason Thayer. Over to Metz. Still looking for his first goal of the game, and he gets it. He scores, as it is his third goal of the season. And Pope Francis, 17 seconds into the third quarter, have just cut the Warriors' lead in half and now it is 4-2. Again, Metz said earlier the first goal of this game, the second goal of this game that he scored was called off due to a crease violation, but now this one he has, and he is 3 goals of the season, I believe, for him. As Matt Feely will take the face-off here. Feely will take the face-off as it is tied up, and Tantasqua will look to get it back, but it'll be Feely scooping it up. He'll take it in the defensive one where he lost his stick. And Tantasqua will regroup with it again. Pope Francis scoring 17 seconds into the third quarter. This is the pressure we want to see from them, especially down 4-1 near at the halftime. And this is the closest game the Cardinals have had by far, still looking for their first win of the season. Can it be tonight? Can they get their first win of the season tonight, or will it be the Warriors getting their first win of the season tonight? Again, both teams winless on the year. Pope Francis 0-4, Tantasqua 0-1 against, again, that one loss coming to the Agawam Brownies, who the Cardinals will play just over February break. As the passing here by Tantasqua, what a save, but then it is put home by the Tantasqua Warriors, and they now lead by a score of 5-2, as Caden Ames with a amazing save there, but the rebound as it was put home by the Warriors. Nothing the Cardinals could do there. And they are now back down by 3 goals here with just under 11 minutes to play in the third quarter. Again, as we were saying, I don't even remember what we were saying, so I'll go back. Matt Feely back to the face-off for the Cardinals. Again, these Cardinals, the closest game they've had this season by far. Again, the Cardinals' upcoming schedule for boys lacrosse, they'll play the Agawam Brownies over February vacation, I believe. I keep wanting to call it February vacation. It's April vacation. As they will take on the Agawam Brownies at Agawam. I believe that game is Wednesday at 5 o'clock, if I am not mistaken. I believe they will also play West Springfield, if I am not mistaken, on Friday of next week. As Tantasqua taken here, stick checked out of his hands by Ryan Goki. Goki will send up to Mason Thayer. Mason Thayer looking for an indirect pass over to Goki. Goki will take it now for the Cardinals. Again, Cardinals still looking to get their third goal of the game. Metz looking for his second goal of the game. Pass back off to Matt Feely. Shot rings off the crossbar and it'll bounce out. And the Cardinals will regroup with it here. Jovanek settle with it at the 40-yard line. Back over to Matty Regan. Regan taking his time, going in on the Warriors. He'll pass it back behind the net for Jack Rustico. 2 goals on the season. Jovanek now up with it at the 40-yard line. Eck trying to get in deep, get into the Warriors zone. Again, more offensive pressure we've been seeing by the Cardinals. This is what we wanted to see all game by them. As they possess the ball behind the net, Jack Rustico taking it for them. Pass it back off to Cam Dunai. Dunai lost it there. Tantasqua will regroup with it. Here, just outside the 40-yard line of the Pope zone. Tantasqua with it now. Still with it now. Looking to add on to the 5-2 lead that they have right now. Again, we said we wanted to see more pressure from these Cardinals, and we certainly have so far nonetheless. As Tantasqua this way and that, trying to rip a shot low, but it was sent just wide of the net. There as the Cardinals, it'll be Tantasqua taking it back out of the Cardinal zone. Tantasqua still with the low shot, and they score a add-on to the 5-2 lead. Make it 6-2 now with 8:48 remaining here in the third quarter of play. And Cardinals, we saw they had the pressure out, a goal 17 seconds into the third quarter. But right now, it has been all Tantasqua. As Pope Francis, we saw them with the attacking zone pressure. It was all Cardinals. They were taking their time, cycling around the Tantasqua zone, giving us looking for their third goal of the game. Certainly Tanner Metz looking for his second goal of the game. Thought he had the first one here the second goal for the Cardinals. But it was called off because of crease violation. It's taking the face off here. It'll be Jovanek. Eck lost it. And it'll be Tantasqua coming back the other end. But X still on it. He stick checked it there. They'll scramble forward still. Tantasqua going to pick it up outside their zone. And I believe we have offsides called, if I'm not mistaken. And with that, Pope France will get some fresh legs onto the field. It'll be Maddie Regan coming on. Jovanek coming off. Tantasqua will start back out with it. Again, with a 6-2 lead. We wanted to see more pressure from these Cardinals. They brought it in the first 2 to 3 minutes of this quarter. But right now, it looked like it's all Tantasqua, and they certainly have shown for it. As 6-2 the score, again, Pope France is what we'd also like to see a couple more shots on net. We've seen the offensive zone, the attacking zone pressure. It's good. That's what we need, but we need a couple more shots on net as they trail 6-2. Only 2 goals in the night. Jake Drell and Tanner Metz. Ball there, lost, but is almost scooped up by Nick Petch. And Maddie Regan will pressure on the Tantasqua offenders. Tantasqua still with it now with just under 8 minutes left remaining in the third quarter. And both teams still looking for their first one of the season here. So the lights come out on the field, getting dark here on Pope Prep. Tantasqua behind the net. Again, taking their time. They're in no rush with a 6-2 lead. They'll just tick down a couple of seconds off the clock. Trying to take it to the net. Trying to get a lob pass out in front, but no one was there. And with that, Pope Francis will take it out behind their own net, as it'll be Ryan Goki for the Cardinals. Goki with it now. He'll send a pass over to Caden Ames. Caden Ames. Pass over to Robert Herman. Herman will send it up the field for Nick Petch. Petch back over to Max Monroe. Monroe tried to get a shot off, but it was picked up by none other than Maddie Regan. Maddie Regan will pass it back over to Max Monroe. Monroe over to Petch. Petch tried to find a pass for Maddie Regan, but he couldn't get it, and it'll be picked up by Tanner Metz. Metz behind the net over to Rustico. Rustico will pass it off to Dunai. Dunai try to pass it off to Max Monroe, but it was put a little low, and it'll be picked up. Petch will cradle it now. So he's looking for an open lane. Sends the pass off to Rustico. Again, this is what we wanted to see all night from the Cardinals. A little attacking zone pressure there. So I believe we have is drizzling out a little bit. 10 going up for the scorekeeper. Tanner Metz trying to hack a shot there into the zone, but is deflected off the Tantasqua player. So Pope will restart out with it. Metz over to Regan. Regan over to Monroe. Again, Pope France is still looking for their third goal of the game. This is the offensive pressure we wanted to see all night from them. Certainly, ball there, stick checked out of the hands of Nick Petch, but it'll be regrouped by Max Monroe as this way and that tried to get around the Tantasqua defenders. They'll still hold on to it now, trying to get it up the length of the field, where it's picked up by Ryan Goki, who will send it into the offensive zone as we have a flag down here on the play. And I believe Tantasqua will play a man down when they get possession. But Goki this way and that, and Tantasqua has picked up possession. I believe the Pope Francis Cardinals will play a man up. Tantasqua will play a man down. So certainly a golden opportunity here for these Cardinals to get their third goal tonight. I restrained from my previous statement as it is not drizzling. It is pouring, in fact, here on the field. I'll get the tent up for the scorer, Angel Rodriguez. Cardinals will play a man up. Golden opportunity looking for their third goal of the game. It'll be Regan passing it back off over to Mason Thayer. Thayer over to Hamlin. Hamlin couldn't get it, so we resettled and picked up by Cam Dunai. Dunai along the 35-yard line. Passes it back over to Thayer. Thayer dancing around the 30-yard line. Tried to get an inside shot over to Jack Rustico, but it whistled high over the crossbar. So with 44 minutes and 40 seconds remaining here in the third quarter, Pope will still play a man up. As they cycle it around the offensive zone. Hamlin over to Dunai. Dunai over to Thayer. Thayer this way and that, dancing around the 30-yard line. Thayer over to Rustico. Pope trying to get a shot in play, get the third goal of the game. Rustico whistles a shot low and wide of the net. So Pope will regroup with it now. Behind the net, it'll be Tanner Metz for Matty Regan. Regan putting the wheels on, going around the Tantasqua players, trying to find an inside shot over to Rustico. He had the shot, but it whistled just wide of the net again. Again, we've seen 2 or 3 shot opportunities here by Jack Rustico alone. Looking for his first goal of the game. Metz over to Regan. Regan with a low shot save there made by the Tantasqua goaltender. The rebound is scooped up, and Tantasqua will regroup with it now. Just playing a game of catch here with just under 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter. Is the player back on? Are they back to even strength? Oh. Yeah. Ball sent out of play there by Tantasqua, and I believe with that we are all back to even strength here. Golden opportunity for these Cardinals as they look to get their third goal, but it would prove unsuccessful, the one-man advantage. So Matt Feely will take it now for the Cardinals. With a long-distance pass over to Mason Gautreau. Gautreau fake the shot there over to Cam Dunai. Dunai will resettle with it along the 35-yard line. Put the Jets on, but it was stick-checked out of his hands. And Tantasqua will come back the other way. Tantasqua looking to add on to the 6-2 lead. Got a man open. Playing a game of catch. The shot just low by the net there. And they'll regroup with the shot. Another shot whistled wide of the net. Tantasqua will regroup again with the 6-2 lead with 3:08 remaining here in the third quarter. Pope Francis with the attacking zone pressure that they have wanted all night. It has just unfortunately proved to be unsuccessful. Here out in the pouring rain. Tantasqua trying to wrist a shot in, but it would prove unsuccessful, and the ball will be taken back outside the Cardinal defensive zone. As it is Gautreau playing defense, trying to keep the ball out of the center field. Tantasqua with it now, this way and that. Trying to rip a fake shot off, but a save made by Ames. Again, Tantasqua still with offensive pressure. Another shot made by Ames. And the rebound will be scooped up by Caden Ames. 3 consecutive shots. All saves made by Caden Ames. Francis looking at... This is the defensive looks they've needed all night long. Tanner Metz, stretch pass over to Jack Rustico, and he scores. Jack Rustico with his first goal of the night. And the Cardinals now trail only 6-3 on this rainy Thursday night with 2:04 remaining in the third quarter. Jack Rustico, first goal of the night. Again, Tanner Metz, another goal. And Jake Jarrell with the opening goal for the Cardinals. So we Jovanek taking the faceoffs. Change out there. Eck and Feely. This time it's Eck. Eck will take the draw. Again, the Pope Francis attacking zone going to work. Tanner Metz with the assist. And a goal and an assist on the night. Here's Tantasqua with no relentless to get it into the Cardinal zone. But it is stick checked out of his hands there by Ryan Goki. Again, the Cardinals lockdown defense. This is what we've wanted to see from them all night. A team coming together as Petch will go this way and that with it, trying to get the stretch pass back over to Max Monroe, but it will be picked up by the Tantasqua Warriors, and they'll come back down into the Cardinal zone the other way with just about a minute 30. A low shot there, and they score. At Tantasqua with an immediate answer back to the Cardinal goal, and they now lead by a score of 7-3 with 1:28 remaining in the third quarter. Again, the Cardinals, we've seen the attacking zone pressure, the in the defensive zone. This is all what we've wanted to see here tonight. Fortunately, it has not been going the way of the Cardinals this evening, on the rainy Thursday night on Pope Prep. Again, we were originally scheduled for a baseball game, but I believe the baseball game is still going on right now. It's a 4:30 start versus the Minnechaug Regional Falcons. Again, over on the softball diamond, we have girls softball versus Hampshire. Or excuse me, no, not girls softball versus Hampshire. That was supposed to be the game tomorrow. It's girls softball versus Pathfinder. Both scores we are still unsure of. It'll be Pope Francis taking behind the net. It'll be Pope Francis taking along. It'll be Mason Thayer. Had it, but he lost it. Tantasqua will try to regroup in their own defensive zone. Pressured on hard there by Mason Thayer, taking a whack out of the Tantasqua player. Oh, Tantasqua had tried to get a pass off to the low into the Cardinal zone, and with just under a minute to play here, 45 seconds in the third quarter, Pope Francis still down 7-3. Tantasqua up at the 30-yard line, taking their time, have a 4-goal lead. Can they make it 5 is the question here. Again, both teams still looking for their first win of the season here. Just under 30 seconds remaining here. Tantasqua might get a shot off here, looking for a last-minute goal. These Cardinals still looking to play defense. Lockdown D. As the stick of Matt Feely was just checked out of his hands on the defensive side. Tantasqua trying to rip a shot off this way, inside and out. Save made by Caden Ames. And with that, the clock will run to 0 as Pope Francis trailing by a score of 7-3 here just at the end of the third quarter. Coming up, we got the fourth quarter live action here on Pope Prep. Stay tuned. Champions play here live on Pope Prep. Fourth quarter of play coming here live on Pope Prep. Cardinals trail 7-3 the score as they will work from left to right and the Warriors will work from right to left here in the final quarter of play here. Warriors out to some early offensive pressure. Again, we saw the Cardinals scoring 17 seconds, the goal they needed in the third quarter. Unfortunately, they still trail the score 7-3 here. As they'll take their time here with the offensive pressure in the Cardinal zone. The Warriors with it now behind the Cardinals net, trying to play defense there was Mason Gautreau. Gautreau will force the player to send it out of the zone, and with that, the Cardinals will regroup behind their own nets. Again, Cardinals looking for their 4th goal of the night. Goals coming from Jake Jarrell, Tanner Metz, and Jack Rustico. Metz with his 3rd goal of the season. Rustico with, I believe, also his 3rd goal of the season. And it might be a night of 3s here. I think it is also Jake Jarrell's 3rd goal of the season. So a night of 3s here, certainly, for the Cardinals. So the pass there by Goodrow was sent over to Ryan Goki. Tanner Metz this way and that. Looked to fake a shot off. Dunai with a low shot sent wide of the net. The goalie will pick it up. Here as it is Jack Rustico going around the net. And with that shot, he scores! His 2nd goal of the game. And the Cardinals with their 4th goal tonight. The score now 7-4. Warriors. Pope Francis looking to make a late comeback here. Jack Rustico with, I believe, now what is his 4th goal of the season for the Cardinals. As they look to make a late comeback here, 10:52 remaining in the 4th quarter. 7-4 the score here. Matt Feely taking it in the draw. Scramble for it down on center field, but it'll be picked up and taken by Tantasqua. Again, Tantasqua's had some immediate responses. The Warriors have had some immediate responses coming back. We saw Pope Francis 17 seconds into the quarter, they scored. But it would be immediately no less than a minute later the Warriors would come screeching back, as they almost do there. But that shot whistled wide of the net. I believe it's still Warrior possession. As they'll take it back and looking to extend upon this 7-4 lead here. Again, for the Cardinals, not the start off to the season that they've wanted, certainly. An 0-4 start. Both teams looking at their first win of the night, as that shot there went sent wide, but low and wide of the net. So Tantasqua will regroup with it behind the Cardinal net with just about 10 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter. As they try to drive to the net, but a save is made by Ames. One of the best saves we've seen, certainly by far here tonight. Again, Ames coming up stellar in the net for the Cardinals. A long stretch pass here. Tried to find Jack Rustico, but his stick is checked out of his hands. And with that, the Warriors will regroup and another stretch pass up the field. Tried to get into the offensive zone, but it'll be Caden Ames rushing out of the net to pick it back up. Caden Ames will take it for the Cardinals. He thought he had a stretch pass as he was looking for Robert Herman, but the Tantasqua Warriors will take it as is. Still Ames trying to stick check in a shot and a goal by the Tantasqua Warriors. Ames tried to get a lead pass out over to Robert Herman, but instead it is picked off by the Tantasqua Warriors, and they now lead by a score of 8-4 here with just about 9.5 remaining in the 4th quarter. And an unfortunate pick-off by the Warriors here as they now lead back by 4 goals once again. Face-off coming in here for the Cardinals. Matt Feely taking it now. We've seen Eck and Feely trading off spaces in the face-off as it's picked off out by Feely, but his stick checked out of his hands. Tantasqua will regroup with it back in their own zone, but it's stick check there, and it'll be Tanner Metz picking it back up. Metz over to Feely. Feely tried to find a stretch pass over to Rustico, but instead the shot is sent wide of the net, and I believe with that, Tantasqua will regroup with it back outside of their own zone. Again, late night here, it's pouring rain out here on the turf. Tantasqua will start with it back in their own zone, trying to go this way and that around Tanner Metz. Tantasqua over the halfway mark of the field. And they have the commanding 8-4 lead here. They're in no rush here along the 40-yard line. Just under 9 minutes left to play here in the 4th quarter on this cold, rainy night here. Again, we got softball over on the field. We got softball and baseball. As we got a flag down here on the play, and I believe Pope Francis will play a man down, which will not help their case as they are already down 4 goals. Tantasqua still scrambling for it now. Pope still has yet to get possession. They're still scrambling for it now, and with that, I believe The Cardinals have gained possession, but it doesn't matter as the 1-man advantage will be nullified for the trip there. That was taken by Mason Thayer. So the Cardinals will start back out with it in their own zone. Again, Cardinals still looking for some attacking zone pressure. With just about 8:10 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Or excuse me, it'll be Tantasqua taking it. I thought the Pope Francis Cardinals would play a man down, but they will not. As Tantasqua will have the 1-man advantage. It's scooped up and trying to get there by Braden Pirelli. Again, Tantasqua is still trying to come out with it. Petch behind the net trying to find Ames, but instead it'll be sent out. And with that, I believe we have another flag down on the field. Not sure who this call is for, but I believe it'll still be possession. Or excuse me, it'll be possession now of the Cardinals. And with that, I believe we are back to even strength, if I am not mistaken. As it'll be Ryan Goki starting out with it in the far left corner of the field near the 10-yard line for the Cardinals. Goki, an indirect pass over to Braden Pirelli. Pirelli with it now along the 50-yard line. Pirelli with it now along the yard line. Passes over to Metz. Again, Metz with 2 goals on the night, looking for his hat-trick goal here. Cardinals staying onside here. The long pass is a stretch pass. They thought they could find over for Cam Dunai, but it's picked off by the Warriors, and they come back the other way. The shot just inside the crease as Tantasqua will regroup with it. Now, the Cardinals will pick it out, back off. Still a man up here as the stretch pass Cam Dunai tried to get, but was sent into the field, into the bench of Cardinal players. So Tantasqua will regroup with it now. Again, Pope still with the man advantage here. Trying not to get scored on, trying to get a one in the net. But a shot, and that an indirect shot, I should say, and it just bounced just over the net. Under 7 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter. Pope Francis trailing by 4. And with that, I believe we will have a timeout, if I am not mistaken, taken by the Tantasqua Warriors. And with just under 7 minutes left to play here in the fourth quarter, the Cardinals trail down 8-4, looking for a last-minute comeback, a late comeback here on Pope Prep. But stay tuned. Champions play here live on Pope Prep. Tantasqua will start out back with it in the Cardinal zone. Again, I believe the Cardinals is I believe we are back to even strength, if I am not mistaken. Here. Tantasqua will start out back with it behind the Cardinal now. Again, they still lead by the score of 8-4 here with just under 7 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter. And we will continue to apologize to the baseball fans who are still awaiting their first game of the season. It is long and awaited, and we have yet to give it to you. Hopefully, we will give it to you sometime soon in the future, which I believe we will not be here on Pope Prep until after April vacation. I got it right there. Didn't say February vacation. But anyways, I believe that April 22nd we could be able to, depending on the weather, be giving you the first baseball game of the season versus Belchertown at 4 p.m. Make sure you tune into that. Again, that could be, depending on the weather conditions. Again, the weather has not cooperated so far, not only with the baseball, but also with our camera equipment here. Again, so we are still awaiting the first game of the season for that. As Tantasqua just playing a game of catch here in the Cardinal zone with 5:36 remaining in the third quarter. Cardinals still down by 4 goals. Looking for a late comeback here. Caden Ames sending a pass over to Robert Herman. Herman, stretch pass up the field over to Dunai, who it was intercepted by the Tantasqua player, and he'll take it out in front of his own net, putting the wheels on now. He's trying to dart up the middle of the field as it was Petch trying to intercept the pass. So Tantasqua dancing this way and that around the Cardinal players. A long stretch pass they thought they had, but instead it'll be sent out of play, but nonetheless it'll be Pope regrouping with it. Maddie Regan off the far right side of the field on the 40-yard line of his own defensive zone. Pass over to Ryan Goki. Goki with it now. Again, more offensive pressure we've seen for the Cardinals. As Goki will just regroup with it now. With under 5 minutes remaining here in this fourth quarter, Maddie Regan. Again, the pass. Back over to Mason Thayer. Back over to Metz. Over to Thayer. Thayer. Trying to dance this way and that. Again, Tanner Metz looking for his hat-trick goal tonight. As Metz will pass it off to Regan. Regan back over to Metz along the 20-yard line. Metz behind the net over to Jack Rustico. Rustico over to Metz. Metz over to Thayer. Thayer try to fire a shot low, but it'll be picked up by the Tantasqua goalie. And just about 4 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter. A long stretch pass tried to get picked off by Jack Rustico. And Tantasqua did fumble it there. But they still have it. Stick check there out of the hands of the Tantasqua Warrior player was Tam Dunai. Dunai, an indirect pass over to Nick Petch. Big reverse hit there. As Petch still with it now. Petch trying to get inside the zone. Try to fire a shot off there, but it was blocked in front. Tantasqua still trying to get it out of their own zone. Up the field, darting up the field now, looking to add on to the 8-4 lead that they have with 3:30 remaining here in the fourth quarter. Again, Pope, we wanted to see them get their first win tonight. Does not look like they will, unfortunately. But I don't want to say anything too late. They could make a late comeback here, only down by 4 goals. Just about 3 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter. Tantasqua will take it in this side of the Cardinal zone, this way and that, trying to juke around Caden Ames, but it was sent wide of the net. As the Warriors will regroup with it. Now trying to get an odd angle shot off. But nothing's going to go. Stick checked out of the hands there by Mason Thayer, but be regrouped by the Warriors again behind the Cardinal net. Cardinals got to play lockdown defense here with just under 3 minutes remaining. Again, the Warriors this way and that. I'm going to add on to the Cardinals. To their lead already that they have. Again, inside shot. They score! And with that, it makes it 9-4 Warriors with just about 2:30 remaining in the fourth quarter. And this game is getting further and further away out of the Cardinals' grasp. here with 2:30 remaining in the fourth quarter. The score 9-4. Again, the Cardinals, we so hope to see their first win of the season here come tonight, but it does not look like that will happen, as they are now down by 5 goals here with 2:30 remaining. It'll be Matt Feely taking the fight opening draw. The ref signals, I believe, for a hold, and he will signal in the way of the Tantasqua Warriors. And Warriors coming out to play tonight, showing why they have never lost to Pope yet here. And this will be the third time these teams have squared off all time. Again, the Warriors still with it back behind the Cardinal net, with a 5-goal commanding lead. Warriors this way and that inside now. Shot just off the crossbar, and it is sent out of play. And now the Cardinals will regroup with it back in their own zone with 2:02 remaining in the fourth quarter. Again, the dying moments of this game. Cardinals down 5. They need a miracle at this point. So it'll be Ryan Goki starting out with it. Goki trying to go up the middle of the field. He does. Through the Tantasqua check. He's in on goal. Can he get a shot off? Yes, he does. Low shot there, but is a save made by the Tantasqua goalie. And the Warriors will come back the other way over the middle of the field. Again, Tantasqua coming out to play today, putting up 9 goals here. And the Cardinals' third time meeting between these two teams. Minute 30 remaining here in the fourth quarter of play. Cardinals looking for a miracle there, but Tantasqua is shot, and it leads to another goal, as the Warriors will now lead by a score of 10-4 with just about a minute 20 left to go. And I would say right now that this game is just about put away for the Tantasqua Warriors, as Matt Feely will head to center field for the Cardinals to get for the faceoff. Again, Feely down. Face-off won by the Warriors as they come immediately back the other way, but it'll be whistled down, and it'll be in the way of the Cardinals. The Cardinals will come back with it the other way. Again, Metz and Regan off over to Metz. Again, looking for his hat-trick goal of the night. Can he get it? With just about a minute left to play. Matty Regan tried getting the pass over to Braden Prelli, but couldn't catch it there. And the Cardinals will regroup with it now, as it is Andrew Furlakis over to Braden Prelli. Probably trying to go this way and that. Shot save made by Tantasqua. As is Cam Dunai trying to get it out, pick it up out of the air for the Cardinals with just under a minute to play here. Warriors will come back the other way. Just about 30 seconds left remaining in this game. Warriors in no rush at all, as they know they've got this game in hand. So unfortunately, as it looks like, the Cardinals will fall to 0-5 on the season. The Warriors will go to 1-1. Cardinals still have yet to get a win against the Tantasqua Warriors in the and the third time of these two teams meeting all time. And that'll just about do it here as the clock expires and runs to 0. The Cardinals will fall by, again, a score of 10-4 as both teams rush onto the field. Again, we have said this over and over, not the start the Cardinals have wanted this season thus far, an 0-5 start. But coming up next, we got the Cardinal postgame. We'll break down what we saw throughout the game. Stay tuned, ladies and gentlemen. Champions play here live on Pope Prep. Cardinal post game coming to you here live on Pope Prep. This game just about underway. The girls' lax game just about to start here as they start warm-ups. And what we saw unfold here today, 10-4 loss the Cardinals took to the Tantasqua Warriors. An unfortunate loss as they still are looking for their first win of the season. They will go to 0-5 on the season. The Warriors will go to 1-1 on the season. But again, today it was all Tantasqua from start to finish, nonetheless, and they certainly showed it here, winning by a score of 10-4. Again, goals for the Cardinals coming by Jake Jarrell, Tanner Metz with 2, and Jack Rustico with 1. Metz with 4 goals on the season so far. But other than that, it was all Tantasqua. And we saw maybe what I would say is half of a quarter of offensive pressure coming from the Cardinals. But unfortunately, it would not be enough as they would fall by a score of 10-4 the final. A 6-goal differential here on Pope Francis Preparatory School. And with that, that'll about do it here on Pope Prep. As it is Don Percy, the future voice of the Cardinals, signing off saying so long from Springfield. Thank you for tuning in, and good night.